This week in gaming, gamers are buying less games. Ubisoft cancels a post-Civil War Assassin's Creed game, and Xbox sucks. This is the Nerd Cave Newz, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Tykes, joined by my good friend and co-host, Derek Daniel. Derek, how's it going, my man?
Man, it's going pretty well. Like, I'm at the tail end of my vacation, getting ready to go back to work here on Sunday. So, enjoying the last few days of freedom I have before I go back to the grind. So, been playing a lot of Ghost of Yotei. So, we'll get into that in here in just a minute.
Well, I'm excited for you that you gotten some time off and you actually been able to play some games. Everybody, let us know how you're doing down in the comments below. And without further ado, we got a banging episode. We got a lot of good stuff. We're definitely diving deep because last week we were all about Ghost of Yotei. So we didn't talk about
nothing else mattered.
Nothing else mattered. We didn't care what Xbox was doing to shoot themselves in the foot, but we're going to be diving deep into that and all of the stuff, the aftermath that has come since last week and their decisions about Game Pass. But Derek, let's talk about what you been playing.
So obviously I buried the lead. I've been playing more of Ghost of Yotei. You know, it's such a fantastic game. Like, I know we just talked about it a little bit before on air. You went to the right, like you went to the Todachi Range and then upwards through the wilds, and then you're in the Teshio Ridge area.
Yep.
I immediately just went straight up into the Ishikari Plain, faced the Oni, took him out. But I've been doing like I'm almost 40 hours in the game, Zach.
Wow.
But only like 30-something% completion, because I'm just literally doing everything around me first before I do all. And I was thinking about this earlier while I was putting together the doc, right? The Ghost duology at this point. I'm not gonna call it a series, but we'll just call it a duology for right now. Is very taken a similar path to Assassin's Creed, right? Where it's like, in terms of gameplay, because let me talk about the gameplay, because it is so, I feel like Yotei, while you do feel the difference in Atsu's like strikes, like being a little bit weaker than maybe Jin's, not because man and woman, obviously, but more like just she was not fully trained in the ways of like the sword. She was like trying to just train in the ways of like a mercenary.
Yeah.
But Tsushima was very much like the old school Assassin's Creed games, where they were fun, you know, the parries, the dodges, the blocks, you know, the stealth kills, but there were parts in the story that forced you to be stealthy instead of giving you that option. Much like it wasn't a lot in Tsushima, but there was ones where, you know, there was certain, like the castle one, where you had to be stealthy. Poison the cons,
the mead and all of that, which
exactly.
I just played that before. Like we jumped into Yotei, so last Tuesday I poisoned everything and then got into Act 3. But you know, I digress.
Right, but you know, as interesting as this, you know, even though it forced you to do it, there was like a sense of like, well, you know, I should still be able to take them out, but you know, I get why you have to be forced stealth into this. Whereas Yotei is more like the Assassin's Creed of current, you know, like the RPG ones where, you know, it's like, you know, it gives you the opportunity to be stealthy. And, you know, not the fact that's like, I don't try to be stealthy, like Origins, right? Origins, I would be stealthy in certain situations, but then other cases, I just go in there like swinging my sword, be like, let's go, you know. And Yotei, I feel, adopts more of that mindset where it's like, I haven't really like, I try to be stealthy, but a lot of the time it just feels right just to like do like a standoff or just go in there and just start swinging my weapon around. So the point I'm getting at is with Yotei, it gives you more freedom of choice with your gameplay, I feel like, than Tsushima did, to an extent. Like, it wasn't like super bad. Like when I compared to the old school Assassin's Creed games, it was just in that format alone. Because old school Assassin's Creed, man, like they did so many missions where they forced you to be stealthy and you didn't want to be. But no, like just story wise, man, like and that's another thing too, is like everything around you just feels so organic. Like, and not to say that it didn't feel that way in Tsushima, but like you almost feel like you're missing some of the world building if you don't, like, if you stop at a village, you don't go and talk, because I feel like there's so many more conversations to be had that are meaningful. Because a lot of the conversations you would have in Tsushima would be just, oh, let me just pin a dot on your map. Like, there's a fortress over here, there's a hostage to be saved over here, or a shrine over here, you know, just points of interest. Whereas Yote is like, hey, I'll give you coin to be my, but like I encountered so many cool like pseudo side quests that were just like mini quests, and that I didn't know would have ramifications later. You know what I mean? Like there's one like the gambling one, right? Like where you first learn how to gamble, and then it's like you play once and you're like, okay, I just did it. It's a simple mechanic. I don't have to do it. But if you challenge that person you first gamble against, they tell you a little bit more. It's like, oh, and you learn that your mother actually was pretty much the same way. Like she swindled people. She was a hustler. You know what I mean? I'm just like, okay. And then when you go back to the house, there's a flashback that of your mother and of you and your mother playing a game of the gamble, the gamble game, and like her kind of like refreshing you about like what you need to do and like, so
What
go
What's
ahead.
interesting is my introduction to the coin game
Mhm.
totally different. I
Ah,
actually learned it in Teshio Ridge from some samurai.
oh,
So,
okay.
but I did get the flashback with the mom teaching me how to play it. So,
Hmm.
totally different experience, but it's the same gameplay. But story wise, you're getting like we're having different things, which I think is really cool that it's not just tied to like where you found it or where I found it. You can
Correct.
naturally come into it in different ways.
Yes. And I feel like that is such a testament to like it's a testament to Sucker Punch because they listened to feed it's a testament of like them like because Sucker Punch is you can argue that they're one of the top 5 studios in PlayStation stable. Like only other studios that actually listen are like Insomniac, um Naughty
Santa
Dog,
Monica.
Santa Monica, like those people that actually take the time to listen to the feedback and actually make it a point of emphasis to change it up in the game and for to show the players that hey, we not just sort of like a little throw in like hey, we're just appeasing you with this. Go on about your business. Be quiet now. They're actually like, hey, look, it's sort of like Navi and Legend of Zelda. Hey, listen, like, hey, look, this is we paid attention to you guys. Like, we're actually doing what you asked us to do and making it impactful in a way. So, and I feel like that, and it goes back to my thing of like just the freedom of it. Like, it encourages you more to just have these conversations and like to flesh out the world because, again, like you called it, when I went up to Ishikari Plain, took out the Oni, and then I swung through, and I'm now taking your path. I'm actually where you are in a sense. Not story wise, because I'm just going around like, oh, I'm filling in the world. I'm getting
Mhm.
stories. I'm getting bounties. I'm just like, cool, cool, cool. And the bounty system is actually, I figured it would just kind of overload you, but it's actually really cool, especially for some of them because of like I found like the Crimson Kimono bounty really cool, really heartfelt, like just like the process it took because it wasn't just like, oh, found them, killed them, that's it, story over, but and I feel like they're replacing that because there are legendary quests. And I've done all the dueling trees, but
Mm.
I'm holding off facing Takizo because I have heard he is a beast to face, and I've
Mm.
seen video clips of people just getting murked by him. So I'm just like, let me wait a little bit. Let me wait till I got a little more weapons in my arsenal, which I do have the Yari. I did learn the
Okay.
Yari in Ishikari Plain, and I
Yeah.
know my next one is I'm going to find out about the the what's the one, the sickle with the chain.
Yeah, I don't it's 2 words. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah. So but it's so fun. Like the game is so fun. The world is the like I keep saying, the world is way more impactful. I feel like it encourages you to just do more exploring. And while it's like sectioned up differently than how Tsushima was, it feels like it's the same size like map. And I forget because they said 6 regions. I'm like, where's the six? I'm counting and I forget there's one down at the bottom of the map. I wonder how we get to there because if you look at the story markers, they're all kind of like in that one section where
Mhm.
the Kitsune points up and then the other 2 are there. And I'm just like, okay, when are we going down here? Like I want to know how to get there because there's not a clear path down by the coastal section. But it while it doesn't feel bigger than Tsushima, it feels denser. Like there's so much like it feels like more verticality, more exploration, like just more stuff they packed into the map to make it feel like it's bigger.
I feel like it is bigger. Like just looking at the map and where I'm at, playing Tsushima literally right before I jumped into Yote, This does feel bigger. It does feel denser. There's way more stuff to
Mhm.
do within the like picking up stuff, talking to people, like the Ainu village. Like I was going
Yeah.
around talking to everybody, and I will knock Yote. Like everybody in the Ainu village looks pretty much the same model. Like all the
Yeah.
guys are pretty much the same
Yeah.
dude. Even the son of Hoochie looks
Which
exactly the same as everybody
you
else.
called it. You called it. I love Hoochie, man. Like her conversations that she would have, like when you're going to do those missions with her, and the conversations between her and Atsu, it's like they kind of one up each other. It's like they would make a like she would make a point about Hoochie, and Hoochie was like, "Okay, we're just two people of the same background," and then Hoochie would come back at Atsu later, and Atsu's just like, "I ain't got nothing for that."
Yeah, and it's I knew you would like her. I knew you would like her.
No, and
Um,
it's like I kind of feel similar to her and like her mindset, like when you get to the why of why she keeps like going off and
mhm.
like not letting anyone help her. It's just and then it's like, okay, I relate to that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, yeah. And Nate's like, you saying they all look alike. I'm saying it is literally the same model,
Yeah.
not anything other than that, Nate being a booty hole. But guys, welcome to the stream. And I, of course, have been playing Tsushima. I'm not Tsushima, Yote as well. And from what I played in the Teshio Ridge section with the Kitsune, it is really, really cool. I can't wait for you to experience like the story side. It sounds like you've experienced some of the stuff with Shinobi and everything
Mhm.
already.
Yeah,
And
which that introduction was really cool, by the way. Like when you're going on your way to Teshio Ridge, and it's just like, boom.
yeah, and like where she's like, oh, Fox lights, because that comes into play later. I'm like, how are these things just like lighting up out of nowhere? I have
Yeah.
no idea. I haven't figured that out yet. But one of the things that it's cool because like you get the dual katana, and I feel like the dual katana is it's okay, but it just kind of feels like whatever. But with the sickle and the chain thing,
Kurisagama, that's what it was.
okay, what is it again?
Kurisagama.
That thing. The dual katana is actually good against it instead of just the regular katana and everything.
Hmm.
So it's like figuring that out and being able to take those, enemies down faster. I thought was really interesting. And one of the characters that you meet in that section that's helping you is very interesting. I think when you get there, you'll see what I'm talking about. But
Okay.
I like the side characters that we're getting that are more story based, not just like Ren that's in like the first
Bow or
in
the armorer, you know.
yeah, and it's like those are just more of like your um
Upgrade.
yeah, your upgrades, like they're just vendors essentially.
Yeah.
But compared to like Hoochie and some other people, it's like you're getting deeper in the world. You're really getting to like see the differences and everything. I really, really like that.
And
And
there's a there and speaking about that too, it's like now I want to see how the Kurisagama trainer is, but there's a guy when you go to Ishikari Plain and you learn the Yari, the master there kind of reminds me in a sense like not the same like backstory that you have in Tsushima, but kind of like Sensei Ishikawa in a sense.
mm,
Same like mindset when it approaches to like
yeah,
using a weapon. But just a hint, like I don't want to come full. It's not a
yeah.
full comparison, but it kind of gave me flashbacks of Sensei Ishikawa.
And I like that we're getting like because we only had really Ishikawa as a master to like
Right.
learn a weapon in the last game, but this one, but since like the stances are different weapons, you have the dual katana dude, which I thought was a really cool thing, except for that stupid combo. And then like I've gotten the Adachi, which was
Oh yeah.
a really cool like training thing and go on a mission and all of that. And I like that as you go on, you're going to have to go back to those masters to get high, more powerful upgrades and everything that
Hmm.
you're going to learn from them. So it's like more in depth than that because Atsu needs a master to teach her these things to be effective at those weapons, unlike Jin, who has spent his whole entire life being trained as a samurai, having that hands-on experience from his
Hmm.
father and then his uncle and everything. So I'm really liking that, and I can't wait to play more. And I literally last Friday I've been playing Death Stranding. I was on the couch and I was like, I want to play Yote, but I don't want to like
Blow
use
through
it,
it.
go through it, but like take it away from everybody watching since I'm playing it on stream and everything.
Right.
So it's like, okay. And like you said, the bounty system, like it could be just a fetch quest. It could be just like going and knocking them out or whatever. But
Mhm.
like them having different stories, like the first one, the crow dude, like having like, oh, there's these dead bodies out through all this graveyard and there's notes
Mhm.
on them. And like it's building up to that. And then when you confront him, there's actually some sort of a story there. And like it feels like that throughout every one of them. And it's like little just adventures that you're
Yes.
going on. And I think that's just great storytelling when you can do that on just the basic stuff.
Mhm. Exactly. Like when you like I said, when you make like just a meaning like a throwaway mini quest, as I call it, not even a full side quest, like a mini quest, um, like tell an interesting story, that's a sign of like you are invested in this game. Like you're invested in this game, you're making sure the players are invested in your work of art essentially as well. Because one of the last mini quests I played, I went to one of the like another, it wasn't the main end for the story, to start the story of the Kijuna
Mm,
in Teshio Ridge. It was like one of the side ones I
mm,
discovered while roaming. And it's like, oh, there was an interaction between this merchant and a Ronin, and he's just like, oh, I'm blind, it's like, but I heard you come in, blah blah blah. And he's like, hey, I know it's getting late, can you help me take me to my wife, that idiot made me lose track of time. And you take him, and he's like, oh, the bells are guiding you, I know exactly how many steps to take. And then you go to this arena looking thing, and then he double crosses you, and it turns out they were
mm.
working together. But he has a heartfelt story. He's like, my wife is really sick, I need the money to get medicine for her to make her better. And I'm just like, okay, it wasn't just a regular like, we're here to take all your
Yeah.
money and take the bounty. But there was actually meaning behind it. He had a purpose. It wasn't just like another jerkwad.
Yeah. And like you brought up with Assassin's Creed Origins and everything, like the missions that stand out are the ones that make you, even if you don't like the person that you're fighting, like as a human being, you can actually
The
have
hyena.
yeah, like having empathy,
Mm-hmm.
and see it from their side. I think that is just one upping just, oh, this is a bad guy, I got to take them out type deal.
Right.
So I have been playing Death Stranding, and I'm glad that I did play last week because, dude, this game just keeps getting better and better. Like every time I play, I'm just like, man, this game. Why are not enough people talking about Death Stranding? And I know it came out a while ago, and Death Stranding 2 came out this year, but man, I am enjoying it, and some great things that are going on. I'm out like in a snowy region and everything, and it's changed like traversal, and I've got this new like zip line thing that like it just opened up the map crazy for me. And
Yeah.
man, I'm loving every minute that I'm getting to play of Death Stranding. Can't wait to play more of it. But that is what we've been playing. Y'all let us know what you've been playing down in the comments below. It could be a mobile game, it could be whatever. We'd love to hear what you've been playing. But let's jump into this week's gaming discussion. And man, oh man, we got a doozy for y'all. Survey reveals over 60% of US gamers only purchase 1 or 2 games per year. And this is by Michael Haradintz at PSU.
So, data from Circana's Q3 2025 Future Video Game Survey has revealed that the majority of gamers in the US purchase only 1 to 2 games per year. The data shared by Matt Piscatella, Senior Director of Circa, reveals that 18% of gamers in the US purchase a new video game about once every 6 months, with 12% buying a new game once a year. Meanwhile, the survey revealed that 33% of gamers purchase a new game less often than one title per year, resulting in a combined 63% of gamers purchasing 2 or fewer video games every 12 months. The Circana survey also revealed that a new game is purchased around once every 3 months by 22% of video game players in the US, with 10% stating they purchase a title roughly once per month. Only 4% of users purchase the game more than once per month. Piscatella commented that the gamers who fork out for one or more games per month after are largely responsible for, quote, keeping things going, especially in the non-free-to-play gaming space. And this seems down from, because I remember talking about this a few years ago, where the average gamer only buys like 3 to 4, or plays 3 to 4 video games on average per year. So that has been cut in half, over the course of the last couple of years. And that, they bring up a point about the free to play market. I do think freemium, as I call it, has a factor in that, because why pay 70, 80 or more dollars for a video game that you may or may not enjoy, when there's they will charge you for stuff, but I mean, the point of entry is free. So it's like, hey, if I hate it, I can just not play it again, delete it, and be gone. I didn't waste money on it, So it's like, when that is the point of entry, and that's kind of like the market takeover, like, why would you want to spend a buku? And like, with everything going up, we'll get to it in a minute. Like, even Game Pass is now becoming a point where it's like, you have to question, is like, is this justified in what I'm spending? I do think, like, the hardest of the hardcore is the majority. And, I did bring up a point. This was like a different subject matter.
The minority?
The minority. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
And I did bring up a point a while back. It's like, well, what if one day the vocal minority in some aspects becomes the majority, and it's like, what if we end up becoming in the wrong, so to speak? And it's like, this is a different mindset, different subject matter. But it's like, people like you and me, I feel like, yeah, I've played maybe about half a dozen games this year, and several of them were on Game Pass. Like, I didn't really pay extra for them. I mean, Yote is the first game I've actually bought since, oh God, I don't even know if I paid for another game earlier this year, honestly. But Yote, I know, is like in the last like 3 to 4 months, Yote has been the last game I bought, most recent game I bought. I think
the last ones that we bought were Sparking Zero and Star Wars Outlaws
and Astrobot.
Yeah, and Astrobot.
Yeah, those were our purchases, and 2 out of those 3 were duds. But that goes to my point. It's like, when you make mediocre games, like, you have to spend, games are more expensive than ever now. It's like, you have to really budget your time and your wallet. Like, what are your thoughts on this, Zach? Is like, does this kind of like, are you not surprised in a sense, or are you kind of like astounded by how like little, like, the hardest of hardcore gamers are now?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily the hardcore people. It's more of just like everybody, the 63% that it talks about in this article, that most people don't have the finances. Games have gotten more expensive. Like you said, we went from, back in the day where a game was $30, and then it went to $50, and then it went to $60, and then we're now at $70, $80 for some of them.
Yep.
And I'm sure this is not taken into consideration like subscription services like Game Pass or Ubisoft Plus or EA Play or whatever, where you can play a plethora of games for in a subscription. This is actually buying a game, and I feel like people are more apt to do the subscription model because of Netflix, HBO, and all of these things.
We're just indoctrinated into that mindset.
Yeah, and it has been until now. We'll talk about it more in 2 stories, but like, Game Pass was the best deal in gaming, and it was just like, man, I get to play all these first party games and great third party games and indie games. Because I look at this year, majority of the titles that I've played has been on Game Pass. Doom the Dark Ages, Clair Obscura, even a little bit of Silk Song, The Altars,
South of Midnight,
Avowed, Oblivion Remastered. It's just been like Xbox has been really on the uptake right now, but that's not taking into consideration I know a lot of people will go and buy that game from Game Pass. They've talked about that,
right?
But I know I only buy. It has to be a really good game for me to want to buy it.
Correct.
That is just the truth. It has to be a really good game that I've been wanting, and I'm sure a lot of people are feeling that way. And Amy comments down here, she's like, buying one or two sounds realistic and not the overcompensation that the industry pushes. Because, dude, I remember back in like 2016. Remember back in 2016 where I was literally buying almost every title that was coming out. Trying to keep up with it, trying to make videos, all of this kind of stuff. I was blowing money left and right, past Zach was an idiot. But I say all of that to say this is that the industry does push you to like, oh, the next big thing, FOMO. And
E3 was the crux of everyone, and now Summer Game Fest and Game Awards are kind of that same way. It's like they push not an agenda is not the right term, but they do basically show you it's like, hey, these are the next big things coming out. Don't miss out on them if you want to be part of the conversation.
Exactly. And when I think about that, it's like that time in gaming for me until I slowed down wasn't very enjoyable. Like I wasn't playing the game to play the game and enjoy it. I was just playing it so I could talk about it. And I wasn't getting any of that for free. Like nobody's doing that. You know what I mean? Unless they've got tons of like just the luxury money, just to throw out there, because this is a hobby when it comes down to it. This is a hobby. It's something to blow off steam for a lot of people. It's something to,
distract us from real world issues.
Yeah, that's what it is. And when you look at this, games have gotten more expensive, all these subscription models, and this is the thing, there's still layoffs. Even though they're making more money than ever, there's still layoffs. And
I literally have in the quick hits, like I think another layoff like thing and another studio closed. So
yeah, and it's like, okay, yeah, we're buying less because everything's more expensive, but you are making more money. Yeah, like some games are costing more, but it's just kind of crazy to see how things have been shaped with the greed of the industry compared to what the consumer is, because none of this is consumer like friendly. Like even free to play stuff is not consumer friendly. It's all about trying to get as much juice out of the fruit, you know what I mean? And we're the fruit and we're getting squeezed hardcore. I want to take Michael's comment here. Michael says, kind of funny, talked about this and I disagreed with their take. They said gaming studios should focus on the ones buying games every month, but shouldn't they focus on the ones not buying? So there's two ways to think about this. Is you have an audience that's primed to buy, and it is in the smaller side of it's less than 40% of the market is willing to buy more games. You can focus on that and you are going to get a return. You need to start whittling down that 63%.
Yes,
but you can't just pick one or the other. It has to be, okay, we need clear obscure type games to get people where it's a smaller barrier to entry money wise. We need those kind of games to get that 63% to actually buy games, compared to, all right, we just got to get $80 out of these people. Got to get $80. Not everybody's going to do that. They're going to go for something that is valuable, which Expedition 33, if you haven't played it, you need to play it just to experience what that, and then it's so deep, but you can't pick one or the other, because if you just pick the 63%, you're not servicing the ones that are actually carrying the weight of buying these games. And then if you focus the other side, you're going to have people buying one game a year or less. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there.
It is. And to his last point about it is like, shouldn't they focus on the ones not buying? Yes and no. Like, yes, they should find a way to get those part of that 63% to maybe buy another game or two here and there, right? But at the end of the point of like, not really, is the people who are on a budget are still going to be on that budget. Like, unless they just come into a bonus, a promotion that allows them to have more, spending money, they're still only going to buy what's within their budget. And if they can only afford 2 games a year to really buy, they're still only going to buy 2 games to buy. So that's not going to move the needle. Now, I'd like to know, of that 63% of gamers who have the budget that only choose to spend their time with 1 or 2 games, that'd be, a little bit deeper take, but that'd also be harder to like survey to an extent, or like that'd be too much down a rabbit hole. But if a lot of that 63% are people's with expenditure money that they can just throw out whenever, and they're not worried about how figuring out how to eat, then yes, I agree with that part. Like push more to them to get that 40% up. But I agree with your take 100%. It's like you got to find a way to meet in the middle where it's still appealing to that 40% who is the minority right now, who is like the ones who are just buying day one games and just buying like the latest new things, but also how to figure out how to dwindle that 63% down to get it to be more of the majority.
Yeah, it like trying to get it up to like a 50-50 split would be huge when you think about it, because gaming has become such a big thing, and free to play is definitely taking a lot of that. And like you look at Fortnite, you look at GTA, it's like those are I guess GTA's free. Like sometimes it goes
online.
Yeah. But it's like Warzone, like all of these things are free, but they're making buku of money, and they're not going to be counted in this survey for that.
Right.
And one of the things that popped in my head as you were talking, Derek, is that we have gotten bigger and bigger games as well. That's been an industry trend where the maps are bigger, the stories are bigger, that's more hours into it. Ghost of Yotei could be like 80 plus hours if you do everything.
Right.
And when you think about that, like I played Ghost of Tsushima for like 2 years.
Yes, you did.
And
that was mainly because of your job, but also because you wanted to experience everything that world had to offer.
Yeah. Everything that I could do and just try and just enjoy that world, because I wasn't making a ton of money at that point. I wasn't, financially like able to just go and splurge and all of that. But also I really enjoyed that game. I really wanted to see everything in that thing. And it's like you look at these big standalone games, God of War Ragnarok, like it's just there's so much to do. Avowed, like if somebody really loved Avowed, they could be playing that for a really long time.
I remember Odyssey. I don't know how many hours it would clock out. It would clock at, but I remember putting an easy 250 hours into that game, just doing everything because that world was done so well.
Yeah, and same thing with Skyrim. I know I had 400 plus hours in Skyrim back in 2010, 2011, whenever it came out. And it's like when you look at that, and that's the trend, is like bigger, better games, more depth story, more options to play. And it's like you can't expect somebody to, okay, I'm playing Avowed, and then Oblivion comes out right after that, and then Clair Obscur comes out right after, like the same week. It's just like
Doom: The Dark Ages.
Yeah, it's just like there's so much inundated where you can't just hop from one game to another when you have a full-time job that's not in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that brings me to Amy's point. How much are influencers getting games for free? Like if you think about all of this, like anybody that's in like the gaming industry that's like full-time, they've got contacts. They're getting, and they will say when they've gotten the game for free type deal. But if you look at that, it's like, that's their whole thing. They want new games because they need stuff to talk about.
Yep.
They need stuff to keep being pushed and all of that.
They want content to come to their channels.
Yeah, and you look at the people that play like a free-to-play game or whatever, like people that play Warzone, they're always like, oh, we need a new map, or oh, we need a new season, because they've squeezed it dry, by playing it 8 hours a day, compared to somebody that plays, bigger open world games that are story-based and everything. Like you get a lot more time out of it.
Correct.
So I'm not surprised that people are buying less games just because of how expensive the hobby has become, where, you look at the movie industry, you look at even books are way more expensive, but like
Yeah.
movies and all of that, like it's movies, TV shows are a little bit cheaper of a medium to get into, and you can still like there's so much available. You can go get DVDs from a thrift store or whatever. Like there's different ways to get the medium a lot easier on that side compared to games. And if no more games got made, like if Yote was the last game that came out, there's so much to play.
Yeah.
When you really think about it, like the FOMO is real, y'all.
Yeah.
The FOMO is real. And Amy says, I definitely feel this in relation to books. Yeah. It's just constantly like it's the churn. And a lot of it is the publishers. They're wanting to get their games out there. They want people to buy it. And they use the people that influence to push that narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Good discussion on that, Derek. Let's jump into the next one. Assassin's Creed post-Civil War game has been canceled last year due to increasing concerns over political climate, and this is by Tom Phillips over at IGN.
So Ubisoft allegedly scrapped early plans for an Assassin's Creed game set during the U.S. post-Civil War period, a report has claimed, with the decision made primarily due to anxiety surrounding the country's current political climate. GameFile reported on the previously unknown project's cancellation and stated that Ubisoft ultimately decided to walk away from its plans in July of last year, amid increasing political tensions in the U.S. and after a strong backlash to the reveal of Assassin's Creed Shadows co-protagonist Yasuke, a historical black samurai. The unnamed project was also planned to feature a black protagonist, a former slave from the South who would join the assassins and fight the KKK. While still in the concept phase, early work had been greenlit by Ubisoft bosses in Paris and was underway at Assassin's Creed Shadows development studio, Ubisoft Quebec. Set during the U.S. Reconstruction period, the game's story would naturally have dealt with issues such as the rights of former black slaves, racial violence, and fallout from the assassination of U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. Several flashback sequences were also planned to be set during the Civil War itself. Word of the decision filtered through the company last summer, just days after the attempted assassination of Trump in Pennsylvania, though it was not directly connected to this event, the report states. Now, I'm going to have a different take on this than probably a lot of people. And that is just looking at it from a game perspective. Would you actually want this? Like, forget like the whole background, like what I just read. Just if you were to say Assassin's Creed set in post-Civil War and that was it, how many people actually would want that in essence? Like, because you think about a lot of the games, like, yes, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. There's been many other games taking place in ancient Greece. The one exception that has been, like, even Valhalla, we've had a bunch of Viking games in recent history that have seen success. And, like, not to say all of them have been success, but, majority of them have been success stories. Like, and then you think about games set in Italy, like Paris, and there's been other historical games that have been taking place in those time periods and have been all right. The one exception has been Origins, like, because you think about it, how many games have been set in Egypt? Like, not a lot in recent memory. You could probably count them on one hand. Now, because it wasn't set during a specific point in, like, it wasn't built during when the Great Pyramids were being built, right? So that it was different. Pyramids were already built. It was because they were taking the franchise on a different take that the setting of ancient Egypt could work, but if you set it to a specific point in history, who knows if it would have had the same impact as the story they told in Origins. So that's an outlier. But lightning doesn't always, you can't always capture the lightning in the bottle. And I don't know, like, seeing this, I'm just like, the reasonings behind it aside, I looked at this and I'm just like, okay, I wasn't clamoring for this anyway. You know what I mean? Like, people were clamoring for Assassin's Creed Japan, or, Hexy, I know has, we haven't seen much of it, but I know people were intrigued by it when it was announced, and that's something during like the witch trials or whatever it was, or has witches involved in magic. So that intrigues people because, like, we just can't, we're only a few years removed from Hogwarts Legacy magic, and, just involved in that world. People still want to deal with magic. But it's like when you read Civil War, like post-Civil War, I'm just like, does that really get people up? Does that really get people excited? Like, does that setting do anything for anybody? And I'm just thinking, like, no. So I'm thinking, like, yes, political climate aside, and I mean, yes, the US is a huge market of Ubisoft games, but Ubisoft is a global company. Why are they just worried about the political climate in the US? Because I can't remember if like games that have come out. I know there's been controversy over like games that have come out in other countries because of their beliefs or whatnot, but that's never stopped Ubisoft. So why would it stop them on this per se? I know it was dealt in it post Civil War, it deals in the heart of the US. I kind of get that correlation, but when has something ever kind of stopped Ubisoft? I mean, heck, they tried to cancel Skull and Bones, and the Singapore government got involved and said, "No, we're making this game because you promised it to us." I don't know. I feel like they canceled it because more of the setting that they were trying to tell, and maybe they weren't gauging as much interest in creating a story around that as say like the reasons why, like the outlying reasons why they canceled it.
I'm of a mind of a few things on this one, and I can see where you're coming on this. I do feel like now is a really interesting time where there's a lot of decisiveness, division, especially since like all the George Floyd stuff, Trump's first term, Biden, and then Trump again. Like there's a lot of division within the country, in many different ways, racial, religious, all of these things. And post Civil War mirrors a lot of that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's literally like what we're kind of going through right now is like there's a clear divide within our country. And I think this could have been a very cool story to tell where you have it's also like we got this with Mafia 3 and it didn't do great, but the game was really good.
Yes.
The game was really good. But it's like you could do some really good storytelling from this kind of game where the South is rebuilding, you're doing all of this. Yeah, you have, the KKK. You're taking like those that is a clear enemy to like, take out, because you look at Red Dead Redemption 2.
I was going to say, if you want that, play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Well, it's like you like that, but that was a few years ago, and like that was like, oh, whatever. And then we had Nazis and all of that. Like it is a very divisive kind of thing, but if that's your only enemy, that's going to get very boring very fast.
Yes.
I think what would have been a much better way to do this is like having the black protagonist where he's, part of the Union Army, and he's like infiltrating into the South where like he's going along with like Sherman, and he's taking out some major targets before Sherman's forces get into the South and all that. There's a lot of ways you can tell the story. You could even go into the post Civil War part and like taking out some strategic targets that are strongholds with some of the Confederate beliefs within the South, people that are trying to continue on the status quo or whatever. It's not necessarily, like you said, it wasn't something that I was necessarily clamoring for, but I think it could be interesting if handled well.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's also at the same time, I feel like it's kind of a cop out. It's like, did y'all actually have the storytelling power to tell something that is this potent,
True.
And it's like, if that's the problem, then you need to get people in there that can tell a story. Like clearly stop using AI and get somebody in there that can actually write. But
well, it's sort of like how Yote did. Like Sucker Punch went to Hokkaido and met with the Ainu Museum and got factual information, so they were staying true to the source material in their game.
Yeah, and they're getting praised again for representing that part of Japan very, very well. And it's like, to Michael's point, is did they say how far into development the game was? And I'm not really sure, since Quebec is the one that's working on it, and they just put out Shadows this year. So
it probably was their next game in development. So I'm assuming it probably wasn't that far along. It was probably in the concept stages at this point.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, that was 2024 when it got canceled. Now it's out and, leaked to the public and everything. But just saying, oh, because of political tensions, like you can handle these things the right way, that some people are going to get ticked off. Let's just be honest. The people are going to get ticked off one way or another.
and that's what's going to be my last point about all this, right? Is since when has, like, don't let that kind of mindset, because what we see majority of the time with that, like, people who are outspoken, they're not going to buy the game anyway. They're just basically voicing their, their hatred, their closed-mindedness about some things like that, and they're not going to buy the games anyway. Like, people like Ghost of Yote just experienced this, right? Like, when it was announced and Atsu was the protagonist, people were like, oh, I don't, like, saying this, that, and the other, and it comes out and everyone's loving the game, and those people that were complaining have nothing to say at this point. And it's not going to be, that game was not for the people who have those kind of mindsets anyway, to be fair with you. And I know Ubisoft tries to be all inclusive and whatnot, but it's like, why let that stop you as well? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, you've got people that literally, anytime you play an Assassin's Creed game, it's like, hey, this is, a work of fiction that is made by a diverse group of people with many different beliefs, religious views, orientations, all of these things. And it's like, okay, why is this different? Why can we not have this story? And the people that are getting ticked off about Yasuke and all of that, like,
I can't believe, because it's been factually proven that this was historically accurate. Like, I don't, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. So
it's just like, if that's the problem, if that's like, then those aren't your audience.
Nope.
Let's just be honest. That's not your audience. And they need help in many different ways if that's their problem, is a factually proven thing. Amy says, if it isn't strong enough to put out, they didn't do enough research. Exactly.
Facts.
Yeah. Guys, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the Nerd Cave Newz on YouTube right here. We do a lot of awesome things. Make sure to do that. It helps us out, tells the algorithm that this is amazing and that you want more and more of this goodness, because those goodies are sure good. Let's talk about Xbox Game Pass and the debacle that they've opened up. This is like Pandora's box. They just ripped it open. And my gosh, it's bad over here, y'all. We're going to dive in. There's a lot of reading on this one because there's been updates and everything. Yeah. So let's jump into it. Game Pass Ultimate prices rise to $30 a month. And this is by Wesley Yinpool over at IGN.
So Microsoft has kicked off October by announcing a significant price rise for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which comes just over a year after the last price rise for the subscription service. In a blog post reviewed by IGN, Microsoft justified the price hike by adding various new features to Game Pass and some big new games, including WB blockbuster Hogwarts Legacy. The shakeup introduces 3 upgraded Game Pass plans: Essential, Premium, and Ultimate. Each includes expanded game libraries, including PC titles, unlimited cloud gaming, in-game benefits, including Riot Games titles, and revamped rewards. So the Xbox game tier and price changes as effective this month. So you got Game Pass Ultimate, $30 a month, which is up from $20 a month. Then you have Premium, which is $15 a month, and the same as the old standard subscription. Then you have Essential, which is $10 a month and is the same as the old core subscription. And lastly, you have PC Game Pass, which is $16.50 a month, up from $12 a month. The updated pricing went into effect October 1st for new subscribers and November 4th for current subscribers. As part of the announcement, Microsoft added more than 45 new games to Game Pass. Starting November 18th, Fortnite Crew, which itself costs $12, will be included in Ultimate, with access to the Fortnite Battle Pass, which is 1,000 V-Bucks each month, and more. Today, Ubisoft Plus Classics, valued at $8 a month per platform, joins Ultimate. The cloud gaming boost amounts to better performance. Ultimate subscribers exclusively enjoy our best quality streaming and shortest wait times. Microsoft said, Xbox Cloud Gaming has also officially exited beta as part of our commitment to make gameplay smoother and more responsive. Microsoft said the new Ultimate price reflects the expanded catalog, new partner benefits, and upgraded cloud gaming experience. And before you get kicked off here, Zach, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we just talked about how when they raised the price of their Xbox console again, how it's like now more than ever, this is going to drive people to Game Pass because it's the best value in gaming. Now it's not. Like, yes, Ubisoft Plus catalog is I think the biggest one out of that. I know the cloud gaming, improvements and all these different tiers. It's still not the best value in gaming, man, and it doesn't justify a $10 a month, because I think if someone did it on a 12-month basis, I think that comes up to like $300 something a year.
360. It's
And that's
$120 more than what it was.
crazy. And I think it's time to say, man, this hobby is getting way too expensive. I think this hobby is going to price people out.
Yeah.
Like sooner rather than later, which raises the question, what do people turn to after if they don't have gaming? Like, I know there's other options, but it's like gaming is a big medium for a lot of people. So, and if you do this, like, you're like, the best value in gaming just got slashed, to just like, hey, you get a lot of games for maybe this value type of thing, and it feels like anytime we try and make like a case to say, oh, well, Microsoft still has this. Like, it especially on our show, right? Like, every time we talk about, oh, well, it can't get any worse for Microsoft, they find another way to prove us wrong. And it's just like, guys, what are you doing? Like, and I keep thinking back to years ago, we talked about the people who keep getting proven right is the FTC that took them to court and said to stop the merger of buying Activision Blizzard. They are becoming, again, the Dark Knight quote, you live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah. Well, and I'm very curious because in that court case with the FTC, trying to block the merger and everything, they said that we will not be raising Game Pass subscriptions.
Right now.
Well, and I'm like, okay, is the FTC going to bring a case against them? Because, man, the FTC loves suing people.
Oh,
all
yeah.
right?
As much as probably not as much as Nintendo, but
I think they're on the same level, to be honest.
Probably.
But what I'm thinking here is like, okay, y'all raise the prices. You told me that you weren't.
Mhm.
After it's like, okay, you have went back on your word. You've raised your console prices. All of these things. We're going to now sue you for not holding up to your legally obligated thing or whatever. And I understand all of these things, blah blah blah. We're going to blame the tariffs. I'm getting tired of hearing that. It feels like COVID all over again.
I literally told you when the tariffs were starting to become more and more of an excuse. I'm like, this is going to be COVID all over again.
Yeah, and I love how it's like, oh, xCloud is now out of beta. It's like, well, what did you actually improve? You know what I mean? And it's like, I was on unlimited, so I don't know if whatever. I don't know anybody that's like, oh, I can only play this many hours on xCloud or whatever, because xCloud was only on Ultimate.
Yep.
So it's like, what is this? I feel like there's so much fluff, and the whole Fortnite thing and the Ubisoft Plus, like, none of that. I don't care anything about that. Like, nothing at all. Like, all of this stuff you're adding here. Oh, you're adding Hogwarts Legacy. That game is 2 years old now.
Correct.
And I've already bought it. And Riot Games, I care nothing about Riot Games. Like, all of this stuff is just so much fluff for them to say, we've added all of this. And I don't know if you saw the video. It's like, Xbox Game Pass is getting an upgrade. And it's like, are you sure about that? Because it feels much, much more like a downgrade.
Correct.
And, with it, like, Andy's like, it's how much? $360 a year. That's 5 or 6 full games that you've bought.
Yeah. And 40% could be buying.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, the whole reason this is happening, let's just be honest, is because Xbox lost $300 million on Call of Duty last year by putting it on Game Pass. That's how much they lost. And Microsoft is ticked off. They also
should have known that. They should have crunched the numbers.
Yeah. Microsoft is ticked off, and they've been pressuring Xbox to make more money, Their CEO has been constantly, we've talked about it over the last year, Xbox, you need to make more money. You need to make more money. Xbox should have never bought Activision Blizzard.
Nope. It is proving more trouble than it's worth.
They should have never bought Activision Blizzard, because now they're in a position where they've got to make more money or things are going to get changed. And we used to tout Phil Spencer as like this great guy. I feel like him, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty are becoming less of the people's people, the people's champion.
Yeah.
And more of the heel of the story, because all of this is coming out more and more, because the next part of the story, and this is for a lot of people that use this, is Microsoft confirms it scraped the Game Pass discount on all games and DLC purchases, giving subs more reward points instead. And this comes from Wesley Yinpool over at IGN.
So Microsoft has confirmed it has scrapped the Game Pass discount on DLC purchases. Instead, it's giving subscribers more points for use in its reward scheme. The news first emerged when Call of Duty community noticed that Ultimate subscribers were no longer eligible for 10% off COD points purchases, as well as Black Cell, the more expensive version of Call of Duty's Battle Pass that can only be bought directly with real world money for $30. The discount was seen as highly valuable for fans who play Call of Duty via Game Pass, but fans discovered that the discount removal extended beyond Call of Duty to encompass the majority of individual DLC packs for Game Pass games. None of this was mentioned in last week's Ultimate subscription price rise announcement, and Microsoft has now issued IGN a statement confirming the change and pointing subscribers to its official website for more information. Quote, "This is not specific to any one game and reflects all games and DLC purchases. Instead of a discount on the purchases, Ultimate and Premium subscribers will earn 10% and 5% respectively in points when purchasing select games and add-ons from the Game Pass library. Ultimate members continue to have 20% discount on select games from Game Pass library. On top of that, all rewards members will earn points when shopping games and add-ons on the store, while Premium and Ultimate subscribers will earn even more, 2 times and 4 times respectively. See more detail on the Game Pass rewards program here." And okay, in a microcosm, the minor discounts, like, okay, you get 10% off a $10 purchase, okay, you get $1 off. Like the $30, you get $3 off. Like, I know over time that adds up, and it's not like huge, right? Like, so it's not like you're saving, but the 20% off select games, I know Ultimate still gets that. And in a microcosm, it's not that big a deal, but looking at it in a macrocosm, it was a sales driver. It's like the whole like marketing push, right? It's like, oh, hesitant about spending full price on this game that's coming out, play it on Game Pass. If you like it, you can buy it, and you get it for a little bit off than you normally would be buying it for. And that's why we saw, like, while we talked about years ago, where, the major concern was like, well, how will that hurt their game? Well, wouldn't that hurt their game sales? And it's like, people are spending more because they're trying it on Game Pass first. So it actually ended up netting them more in game sales by doing this. So could it still net them more game sales down the road? Probably. Like, is the discount make or break? Probably not. But it's all a part of that push. It's sort of like, welcome them to Game Pass. See what all the amazing games you get to try out for no extra charge. Oh, you're worried about it leaving? You can buy it. Oh, and you can get a little bit off too by being a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber. And, just like it keeps people in the Xbox ecosystem and it makes them loyal fans. But with this now, it's sort of like you're taking it away. Like, again, not a huge detriment to my wallet, per se. But again, it's the whole like marketing, like the advertisement you're spinning for me as to why I should still subscribe.
Well, Derek, let me ask you this. Okay, if you go to a restaurant and you've been used to paying $20 for a hamburger and fries, and then you come in the next week and it's jumped up $10, it's now $30, and you have 20% less fries.
Yeah. No,
would that be worth it to you?
No, it wouldn't. I would not come back.
Exactly. So they make money off of selling games, and that 20% of off a game or whatever, JCPenney is notoriously known for doing discounts for sales and all of this. And it was a huge driver until the 90s, where they got a new CEO, and he's like, we could save so much money if we stop putting out ads that say, we're doing a sale, we're getting all of this, we could save so much money on print. So they did that, Derek, and it started going. And then JCPenney started losing money because they weren't running sales. They just listed it at the price the sale would be.
Right.
There's a thing with people. They want to know that they're getting the best deal. It doesn't matter that it's 20%, 10%. If they see, like when you would go on Game Pass, you'd see play it on Game Pass or buy, and it would have like a slash through, and it'd be like 20% off, and then it would have the other number. It's a thing in your mind. It's like, oh, I'm saving. I need to get that. I should get that right now. And Microsoft would make more money that way. But they're going to do
it's the Black Friday sale effect. You know, it's like, oh, say $20 on a toaster. It's like, well, the toaster wasn't that expensive to begin with, but it was, you're not saving that much on it. But you know, it's the whole FOMO effect of like you know, keeping up with the Joneses type thing. I need this, you know, like, oh, cool. It's cheaper than what I normally would pay for it.
Yeah, it's all a psychological effect where people want the best deal. They want to know that they're saving some amount of money. And that's what Xbox is literally cutting their leg off right now to just, for no reason, just trying to make a quick buck compared to the long-term game. And it's sad to see because, dude, we're not even reporting on this. The cancellation page for Xbox Game Pass crashed.
Yes, it did, which speaks volumes.
Hey, I canceled Game Pass. I want to know, everybody that's watching, did you cancel Game Pass as well? Because I talked to my colleague Nick at work, and he was like, yeah, I canceled Game Pass last night. And it's like, people are not going to be willing to pay more for less. And that's what you go to the food aisle. Guess what? There's more air in your potato chip bags. There's less food in there. It's just like, it's more and more. And these companies are expecting us to just take it and say, thank you, sir. We appreciate that. That was good. No, it's not.
Can I have some more, please?
Yeah. What an idiot. Them girls love the sales. Exactly. That dude was an idiot. And just like Xbox, they are idiots. And then being deceitful and not being honest about it, where people are having to find out and call them out, and then they're having to make a statement and everything. You go ugly first. You just get it all out there. You go ugly first, and then it's done. Okay. And people are going to gripe and complain and everything, just like we're doing right now. But when it's like, oh, we're just, you know, oh, we're going to cut that. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll find out. And it's like,
they won't notice. Yes, we will.
Yeah. It's, oh my God. It's so annoying. And they're going to lose so much more money. Michael said, cancel Game Pass about 5 months ago. You have Game Pass?
I think it just renewed like a month or so ago 2 months ago for me. So I think it did the year subscription for what it currently is. So I think I'm fine, but I don't think I'm going to renew, you know what I mean?
After that. Yeah.
And it pains me because again, like I'm the type of Xbox gamer that I get for the exclusives, like, but again, and here's the other counterpoint that no one's talking about. It's like, okay, if I'm going to pay more for less, and now this is like their crux, I guess you could say, or almost to their detriment. Now that Xbox games are coming on PlayStation, I can just get out of the Xbox ecosystem and just buy, like, I know Gears of War E-Day won't be day one on PlayStation. Presumably, we'll see. We're a year or so away from that being a talking point. But it's like, if it's not day one on PlayStation 5, but they say it'll come, I'll just wait till it comes on PS5, man. Like, because I was walking. Funny side story. I was walking through Target yesterday, and I walked through the game section, and even though we know it's a thing and we've talked about it, it still is weird to me seeing Gears of War in a PlayStation borderline case, seeing Gears of War Reloaded in the display section for Target. I'm like, this still feels weird to me, but you know, it is a thing. Here we are in 2025. But yeah, like, now that people are going to be playing Xbox games on the PlayStation 5, it's like, what if they cancel Game Pass? It's like, okay, if I'm gonna pay the same amount on Xbox as I do, like, it's sort of like the grocery store argument. It's like, why should you shop at one place here? Because my cornflakes are the same as anywhere else. You know what I mean? So it's like, if a $70 game is $70 on Xbox and $70 on PlayStation, why should I go to a place that's not valuing me as a gamer and a consumer, where I can go to a place that at least tells me that it's like, hey, we're going to be jerks about some of this.
Yeah. Well, Amy makes a great point. But corporate executives have bills to pay too. I wonder, Derek, The yacht, second house, Botox, Lambos, the necessities. I
Such
feel
a hard
like
life.
I wonder, Derek, if Bobby Kotick gave Phil Spencer some advice before leaving, because this Game Pass stuff feels like a Bobby Kotick move.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you have to wonder now too, right? Like going back to them, like they shouldn't have bought Activision Blizzard. It's like you have to wonder if Xbox were just thinking, or like they're trying to gain some goodwill with the gaming community, and they thought they were just being saviors by saving Activision, because they're thinking like, oh, it's being run by a tyrant, and there's very talented people over here in these studios that make great games that people play every year. And it's like we need to keep them in business, and we need to save them so they don't slowly die off and take away the talent. And it's like, what does it matter now? Because now you're sacrificing the good of the few or at the cost of the many.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it was a toxic place, but hey, we're going to be toxic too, but in a different way, because we're going to lay off a bunch of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they've laid off so many people since they bought them.
And this whole quadruple A studio, the first studio that we built from the ground up in our own house, yeah, we're going to cancel the game they've been working on for 7-8 years and just, we're not even going to give them a second chance. We're just going to close them completely.
Yeah. Man, we're not done yet, guys, because Microsoft actually, they came out and they said Xbox Game Pass Ultimate price increases are going to get delayed.
In some countries.
But only in some countries. And this comes from Wesley Ginpool over at IGN. And Wesley's getting a lot of traction today from us, y'all.
Yeah, well, he's arguably one of the number one. He's basically like their
he's the game news editor for IGN.
Also fair. So Microsoft has delayed its controversial Game Pass Ultimate price increase in some countries, but not the US or the UK. The updated pricing went into effect on October 1st for new subscribers, and it was set to kick off on November 4th for all current subscribers. But now Microsoft has confirmed it has delayed the Ultimate price hike in some countries, such as Ireland and South Korea. In an email to subscribers in these countries, Microsoft said the increases would only affect new subscribers, not existing ones, as long as they auto-renew. If Ultimate subscribers cancel, then resubscribe, they'll be charged at the new rate. Microsoft subsequently confirmed the decision in a statement to The Verge. The company said the delay was due to, quote, local requirements, which likely means the company must give subscribers a set period of time before making price changes. Unfortunately for subscribers in the US and UK, this does not apply to them. Quote, our recent Game Pass update remains unchanged, Microsoft said in the statement. Current subscribers in certain countries will continue renewing at their existing price for now, in line with local requirements. We'll provide advance notice before price adjustments take effect in these countries. The quote, for now part of Microsoft's statement suggests the price hike will eventually hit all countries in which Ultimate is available. It's a case of when, not if. And cool for them, like, cool, I guess, because of, loopholes they get, but, I wonder, we talked about it a minute ago, how all the cancellations cancel or crash the page on Microsoft's thing. How many people in other countries saw this and immediately canceled, and then they put out the statement and then they're like, oh, we'll resub, and then it's like, nope, we're going to still charge you the new price, and it's like, gotcha, like the Dave Chappelle thing, and it's just like, that's still kind of sleazy, but I mean, also at the same time, I get it. Like you have to, it's sort of like you're in like satire skits, like comedic skits, where it's like you deliver this harsh punishment, and then someone in the jury's like, "We really can't do that." It's like, it's not humane. And it's like, well, we're going to backtrack and reverse that ruling real quick. I get it's kind of like that situation, but still, it is still kind of slimy, because how many people in those other countries that are getting delayed canceled, and then they found out it's going to be delayed, and then they resubscribe, but then found out they're still going to get charged that increased price?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like, as long as your subscription is current,
Right.
Even if you canceled, if you start it back up or whatever. But the way this like started getting reported, it sounded like it was everywhere. It was like, hey, we're going to hold off on it, like they were going to backpedal like they have in the past, like when they were trying to charge for Outer Worlds for $80 and they dropped it back down to $70. But no, this is literally because they can't in those countries. It's not because of the goodness of their heart, because they were doing it across the board and then probably got hit with, hey, these are the regulations in these countries and you have to abide by the rules.
It's like on YouTube. It's like when you think your video is cool and it's like copyright infringement. The song played in the background. I'm like, bro, leave me alone.
Yeah. There was a demon slayer in there. But you know, like it is, yeah, it's only kind of sleazy. Yeah. I feel like this is just par for the course. Like they are becoming the EA, old EA, you know what I mean? But I know we've talked a lot about Game Pass, but this next part of this definitely feels this way because, man, they are pushing this hardcore and trying to make people go on Game Pass because Microsoft reportedly testing free Xbox Cloud gaming supported by ads with monthly play limits, with the announcement and launch coming soon. And this is by our boy Wesley Yinpool over at IGN.
So Microsoft is reportedly set to announce and launch a free version of Xbox Cloud Gaming with ads for PC, Xbox consoles, handheld devices, and the web. The Verge's Tom Warren reports that Xbox Cloud Gaming supported by ads is currently being tested internally and does not require a Game Pass subscription. A public test is said to be coming soon with a release in the months ahead. Warren's sources indicate Microsoft is testing approximately 2 minutes of ads before a game is playable for free via streaming. Microsoft is also apparently testing a limit of 1 hour for sessions with up to 5 hours free a month. But as Warren points out, this might change for launch. And my first thought is, like, you know, because Tim kind of talked about it. I think it was Tim or somebody on Kind of Funny when I was listening to it this morning, brought it up. It's like, am I going to be in the middle of a boss fight in like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, and all of a sudden, boom, ad. And it's like, I'm about to get like the boss is like doing this jump and going to do it like a huge attack, and then it's like, boom, why don't you come watch the new Demon Slayer movie in theaters only? And it's like, bro, I don't need this. I'm in an intense situation right now. My emotions are all time high. Like, there has to be some regulation to that in some aspect. But my first thought when I read this is they're going to drive. This is going to be another sleaze move by Microsoft to basically say somewhere down the line at some tier of the new Game Pass model is going to be, oh, you get Game Pass or you get cloud gaming without ads. And it's like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Quit being scumbags.
Yeah. This feels like Hulu, Disney, all of that crap, where it's like Hulu's had ads, you know, for a while, but other services, Netflix, HBO, all of that is rolled out with ads, and it's a little bit cheaper and all of that. And this, it feels like, oh, only having 5 hours of gaming and 1 hour sessions or whatever, like that's nothing. Like, you can hardly get into a game by only playing an hour, you know, especially some of the games that they push and everything.
Oh yeah.
You know,
can you imagine like finally, like for me, right? Like, because we're talking about Yote, right? And how I'm just going through, just exploring the area I'm in first before I do any like big story content. Imagine like exploring it, like getting all the stuff immediately that you see in the world and then going to do story content, boom, ad. And I'm like, leave me alone.
Yeah. And Nate brings up an interesting one, probably ads during loading screens.
That would be at least the most least invasive version of that. You know what I mean? Because you're already waiting on the loading screen anyway. But then again, to be fair, not to discredit his point, a lot more games are trying to do away with loading screens. Yeah. So it's like, how you still figure that one in?
Or it's like, oh, you got to go into the menu. You have to watch a 15-second ad.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Like, I can totally see it, dude. It's like, oh, you need to check your map. 15-second ad, non-skippable. You know what I mean? It's an interesting, like, you know, thinking of this not as a gamer, thinking of this as just like pure capitalism. Gaming is the biggest entertainment industry in the world. And if you can reach them as an advertisement, because like YouTube advertisement is strong and Google advertisement is strong, but if you can get on people's consoles and games and all of that, this could be really bad, because how many kids are playing these devices, and you cannot target kids for advertising.
Oh, that's a good point. That was a hot point of contention years ago. Oh boy.
Yeah. So
Oh boy.
I'm just like, okay, that is going to be a minefield for all of that. But hey, go ahead and step on it, Microsoft. You know, just don't lift your foot. Just don't lift your foot. Yeah, and ads on YouTube have gotten terrible. Yeah, and
yes,
like YouTube got in a ton of trouble for advertising to children and everything. Yeah, look at what happened to mobile gaming. Yeah, all of it is just microtransaction bullcrap, or oh, you've got to watch this ad before you can, you know, continue whatever, or if you want to cool down or whatever. And all of this brings me, and this is not an article that we're going to read here, guys, but something that's been happening is all of the box store, the brick and mortar stores, Walmart, Sam's, several others have actually discounted Xbox consoles, and they are just trying to get them out the door because they haven't really sold that well. Like Xbox Series X and S haven't sold crazy like PlayStation's have, so they're putting it at a discount because it's not selling well, and they're seeing the writing on the wall that Microsoft Xbox is not going to really be supporting long-term console sides, and they're really pushing the Game Pass side. And these box stores are like, why would I sell your stuff and you're essentially cutting my throat the whole time you're doing it?
Correct. And also, well, and you also see like now it's also tongue in cheek. Like I was debating on whether to bring this up or not.
GameStop thing.
Yeah, GameStop saying, "Don't worry, we'll still have Game Pass for $20," but it's still advertising the card that already has the $20 already painted on there. So I'm just like, y'all are just pushing the agenda. Cool. And at a glance, it's like GameStop is for the people. We're trying to get some goodwill. But when you really think about it, especially someone who's worked there, it's like they're just going to burn through their inventory of what they already have accumulated. And once they run out, then it's a matter of when, not if, they get the $30 ones in and they start pushing that. So it's like, oh, you can get it for $20 for now.
Yeah, and they've bought those at a discount, bulk discount, and all those stores have a certain amount of them, and once they're gone, they're gone. It's not going to be a continual thing. And I know Xbox has come out and said, oh, we're making the next console. But you look, they've raised the prices twice this year's on the console, and the ROG Ally X is $1,000. And it's showing, like, it's saying to us, it's like, hey, we're actually kind of outsourcing our development of our next console. We're not as invested. We just want everybody to go on Game Pass so we can keep raising the prices.
Right.
You know, like you think about everybody that's got a Samsung TV. Game Pass can be on there. That's an Xbox. Your phone's an Xbox. Derek, did you know the t-shirt that you're wearing right now could be an Xbox?
What?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very disappointed in what has gone on in the last week with Xbox, after being like, it felt like, oh man, this is, and I guess this is, being silly and thinking that a corporation is going to care about people. They're for the gamers and everything. They really changed since the Xbox One, where it was like, oh, it's entertainment and all of this, and they went really like gamer friendly and all of this, and now it's like, no, they were just wearing a mask.
Right. They were just trying to put out the brush fire that was Don Matrix, big mouth. And then, once they got past that and they literally waited a generation. It's like, all right, most people have given it time. It's the wounds are healed from the start of the Xbox One era. Now we can be jerks again.
Nate says, if they come up with a smart shirt, I would rent out ad space for side money. I love that. Oh man. Well, guys, it's time for the Patreon quick hits, and this hopefully will be mostly more enjoyable than us having to deal with Xbox's crap. But the Patreon quick hits are brought to you by our wonderful patrons. Go support the Nerd Cave by getting your very own Nerd Cave membership to help us continue to make awesome shows like this one. Become part of the ship, part of the crew by going to patreon.com/nerdcave and picking the tier that's best for you. This helps support a 1.5 person business, guys. It helps us out so much because we've been making a ton of content, from Nerd Cave Newz to my Yote to Eat Sleep Anime. We're making a ton of content here, and if you're able to toss a few dollars, it helps us a ton. If not, that's totally fine. You watching the show, sharing it with people that that loves video games helps as well. So thank you so much for going over to patreon.com/nerdcave and joining even on the free tier. It helps a lot, guys.
It does.
Now it's time for the Patreon quick hits.
Starting off, Battlefield 6 pre-orders reportedly hit over 1.5 million on Steam alone, and 5 million in sales expected to happen in the first week, which that comes out probably tonight if you're waiting for service to load, or tomorrow if you're getting it physically. But Battlefield is releasing soon. Battlefield 6 on consoles can reportedly reach up to 120 frames per second. Requests for Battlefield 6 naval warfare haven't gone unnoticed, says EA. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 development won't be impacted by multi-platform approach whatsoever. P Studios' Kazuhisa Wada says Persona 4 Revival is a tough challenge, but is shaping up nicely. Resident Evil Requiem first-person mode is likely to be the option of choice for Western gamers. Payday developer Starbreeze cancels its D&D game Project Baxter, resulting in layoffs. Aliens Fireteam Elite 2 pops up on the ESRB website. Ghost of Yote is praised in Japan for how quintessentially Hokkaido it feels. And Ghost of Yote creative director isn't bothered by how much side content players do, as long as they're having fun. After epic journey lasting almost 15 years, YouTuber Kurt J. Mack has finally reached Minecraft's far lands. World of Warcraft's next expansion is seemingly about to kill the game's biggest mods. Paramount's canceled Halo TV show is enjoying a new lease on life on Netflix right now. Sony reportedly cancels numerous PlayStation The Concert dates in the US. Rumor Silent Hill 2 remake DLC Born from a Wish is in the works. PS Plus Extra reportedly gets Silent Hill 2 remake later this month. Assassin's Creed Mirage Valley of Memory update arrives on November 18th, adds a new region from the golden age of Abbasid Empire, and will offer over 6 hours of new gameplay. Marathon closed technical test has been confirmed for October 22nd through the 28th, and signups now available. Metal Hellsinger dev The Outsiders is shutting down. Yacht Club Games delays Mina the Hollower. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 beta extended by 24 hours and ends just a day before the Battlefield 6 release date. Black Ops 6 is adding horror icons for Season 6, including Jason Voorhees and Chucky. The only way to get 2x KO's arcane skins for Vi, Jinx, and Echo is to buy the $100 bundle. Nintendo reveals mysterious animated short is indeed a new Pikmin tease. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is getting a free update featuring a new dungeon, enemies, bosses, and costumes. Expedition 33 also has topped 5 million in sales. Microsoft confirms Game Pass Ultimate price increase delay in some countries, but not in the... Well, we already talked about that. I thought I added it somewhere. My bad. Turtle Beach announces suite of Switch 2 controllers, cases, and headphones. That's a name we haven't talked about in a long time. Skate attracts criticism from Dead Space fans for its $35 Isaac Clarke bundle. Fallout Day 2025 is set for October 23rd. Bethesda promises news on existing Fallout games and more. Rumor Silent Hill Townfall set for March release, while a Silent Hill transmission is due this month. Sea of the Sword trademarked in Europe by Sony and Giant Squid. Web versions
Sword of the Sea.
Sword of the... What did I see? Sea of the Sword?
Sea of the Sword, yeah.
I got dyslexia for a moment, guys. Sorry. Web versions of PlayStation Store allows you to write reviews for your game purchases. Shadow the Hedgehog, trademarked by Sega, sparks hope for remaster or possible sequel. Baby Steps punishes serial cutscene skippers with a 28-minute long cutscene. Metal Gear Solid 4, anybody? And lastly, video game consoles are selling for 12% more in the US this year than last year.
Like we said, it's getting expensive out there, guys, for this. And that's one thing, like you brought it up earlier. It's like, okay, this is getting more expensive. What are we going to do in the long term? There's enough games that are out there. Like you can get
Also
older games. Like I know you've got a large backlog. I've got a large backlog. There's like, until Ghost of Yotei, I was literally playing games that came out on the PS4.
Right. Like same, like for how many months? Granted, I was only playing on my off days or when I took a vacation, but like the last 3-4 months, I was playing Assassin's Creed Origins, which released on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah. So it's like, you don't have to just play something that's new that costs $70. You can play stuff that you can get for cheap, like physically somewhere, thrift store, GameStop, wherever. You can get things on sale on Steam and all of this. Like you don't have to buy something day one to enjoy it. It's nice to be in that, but it's not a necessity. And again, I know that somebody has at least one backlog game that they either started and didn't finish. They probably have more.
Right. Well, and also like started and haven't finished or kept telling themselves, I'm going to play this, or now maybe I should play this next. Maybe I should play this next and never do. Keep kicking the can down the road.
I literally have Ratchet and Clank, and I enjoyed the little bit I played, but it's on my backlog.
Right.
Like the one that came out at the very beginning of the PS5. I never finished it. I haven't finished Astro Bot. Like there's so many things that I want to go back to, but it's like, yeah, okay, there's still stuff to play.
Yep.
Yeah, and Nate brings up the mountain of unfinished game is high. Yeah. It's high. So it's like
too dang high.
Yeah. And it's like, just realize that when you feel like, oh, I've got to buy this, that, or the other, you feel that pressure from the corporate side of things. You don't have to, you're not beholden to them. Go play the games that you have. And if you really want something, get it if you have the money.
I will free you of this conviction if that's what plagues you. Don't let it affect your head.
Yeah. Guys, thank y'all so much for being here tonight and being a part of the show. Your discussion helps the show be more interactive and just warms our heart, both of our hearts. Like, is your heart warm, Derek? Because mine is. It's the blood is very
heated.
warm.
My blood is mostly heated from the discussion of Microsoft, but it's warm nonetheless.
Thank y'all so much for being here. We'll be back Tuesday night with more Ghosts of Yotei. This has been Zach
and Derek.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye-bye.